Okay, we're back again. I've written and am publishing my sixth book. This one, oddly enough, took a little bit longer than some of the others. All the others I did in like 3 days. This one, I did it primarily in 3 or 4 days, but for some reason it took a while to edit and put it all together. Couple of weeks, maybe even longer. It's called The Divine Artist, and this is the cover and the back cover, and it's in for print. This is the manuscript, which I'm doing the final corrections to. There's just some small grammatical errors, and I just wanted to review it a little bit. Um, it's called The Divine Artist: Dreams, Poems, and the Mystical Trance of the Brahmin. And again, this is the picture that's going to be the cover that you saw. The preface: this book is intended for those on a spiritual quest. It is only to be read while sitting in a temple on the top of Mount Everest in the Himalayan mountains while in a mystical trance. Only there will you be able to sit in complete silence and contemplation. This holy scripture is meant to be spoken aloud for 7 straight days so that the messages will emanate out into the universe so that a new, perfect universe will be born. One without evil, suffering, limits, or death. This is a pilgrimage of destiny. Nothing is more important in life than your eternal self. What does it mean to be truly free? If the truths of these scriptures are meditated upon by a man in the highest degree, devoted to God, and to his guru as to his God, they will shine forth. They will shine forth indeed. Upanishads, Om, peace, peace, peace. And that's the preface and on the back cover. Dedication is to my son Tony Megna, who I call Saint Anthony. This is the second book that I've dedicated to him. I go through the table of contents real quick. The Divine Artist, The Perfect Man. Markudite Mania, The Great. Who Are You, Fuji and the Holy Turtle. The Divine Comedy, This Place is Hell. A Trip to Mount Etna, Empedocles is All In. Plato's Academy, The Death of Socrates. Zeno's Paradoxes, which I can't help it, I put it in all of my books. What is Truth? Why Am I Here? No Reason at All. Pure Being, Parmenides. Metaphysical Freedom, The Destiny of Life and Death. Yin and Yang, Its Opposite Day. Forgiveness is the Key to the World, Alyssa Toffoli. Forgiveness is kind of an undertone in the book, a sub-message in the last couple of books, actually, and you'll see why if you read the book. And then next is the poems, which is the bulk of the book. It's primarily what I'm calling poems, which is not necessarily traditional rhyming poems or anything, but this is 200 some pages of basically poems that's meant to be spoken aloud and thought about and meditated upon. Very profound statements, I think, and not necessarily to read it through in one sitting, although I've read it through twice now in like a couple of hours, or maybe even an hour. I've read through it, um, and I kind of like how it turned out. Um, the way this book was written, I've done about 200 videos. I went back and when you do a video, it it'll give you the words transcript. It automatically does this through YouTube or however, and I was able to download those. And when you download those, the words aren't exactly what you said, and that's how this book was written. I downloaded about 20 videos and then modified and created poems out of the words and the statements, and that's how this book was put together. And it kind of turned out interesting because almost interpreted what I was saying in a different way on some of the important videos that I think I've done, some of the better ones. And so the poems are Thus Spoke Zarathustra over Man, Being in Nothingness, John Paul Sartre, The Divine Poem, Alexander Scriven, which, by the way, that's where I got this idea about speaking out loud these poems, 7 days to create a new perfect universe, which was his goal with his final work. I always thought it was the Divine Poem. I've always said it was the Divine Poem, but it really was. I think it was entitled Mysterium or something. His last work, which he wanted to travel to the Himalayas to create this new perfect universe, and he died at a young age, 43, and he never was able to make that pilgrimage. The Divine Poem, Alexander Scriven, Grand Metaphysics, the whole shebang. Determinism is truth. There's no way around it. Gödel, Escher, Bach, What Makes a Self. The pronouncements, this we know for sure. Aesthetics and beauty, what gives life meaning. Non-being, something and nothing. Scale, perspective and art, Lisa Randall. The double slit experiment, this explains a lot. Metaphysics, there is no foundation, what's at the bottom. Every possibility exists, George Cantor. The mind has no extension, Rene Descartes. The Secret Society, The House on the Hill. Law Without Law, John Wheeler. Why Being, Why Not. Perfection, Living in an Imperfect World. The Antinomies, Immanuel Kant, Paradoxes. Alan Watts and Zen, Imagine If There Was Nothing at All. The Secret Society, The Journey to Qualia. Tibet, Let's Get High. Being in Time, Timeless Time, Now, It's the Only One of Its Kind. My Dinner with Andre, I Could Always Live in My Art. A New Beginning, Tracy Chapman. Metaphysics of the World, Come On People, Clap Your Hands. Conclusion, The Impossible Forgiveness. And then again, the Glass Bead Game members are summarized, the exclusive club with the references and a picture of St. Anthony. And then on the back, there's a picture of myself at the Chicago Symphony to see the Divine Poem. This is the picture, which I'm next to a poster, Mozart and Beethoven, kind of like that picture. And then again, at the end of this book, I included the signatures of the Glass Bead Game members, guaranteeing the immortality of love, beauty, truth, and perfection. And I've included this at the last 2 books. I went and found many of the signatures of the Glass Bead Game members. There's 250 members in the Glass Bead Game. And I went and found their actual signatures guaranteeing the immortality of love, beauty, truth, and perfection. And you can see Hess and Michelangelo and Nietzsche and Ayn Rand, and all those are at the end of the book, so that's just kind of an interesting thing that I kind of like to have at the end of the book. So that's the summary. Again, it's primarily poems, statements, profound statements that all just tie together, and that is the 6th book called The Divine Artist.